Okay, we have a disclaimer, of course. Me. I I'm not working on Spawned Engine at the moment simply because there's a lot of work in general, grinding money, right? Slavery. But whenever I have a chance, I'll take a month off and put it all together. And at the same time, I'm in a kind of a bump with the animation thing, but I'm sort of slowly sorting that through. I'm thinking it through. I really need to find the best solution, and when I'm dealing with something that's completely unexplored and inexperienced, like ray tracing is going to cause a lot of puzzles to solve for me. So yeah, I kind of like that. I'm kind of upset at the same time, but this is what I'm dealing with. Now, I'm gonna talk about Dating is Rigged Again, part 2. I sort of wanted to make this video about surviving the authority because we sort of live under authority and it's great. It has changed life for the better. It has used the resource of society, but at the same time, on the background, there's always a possibility for things to collapse. There's always a possibility for vampires to appear and just take over this society at this point because there's still a bunch of resource being generated. There's a bunch of zombies and water people in social media, turning social media into literal water. It's literally just feelings, a bunch of different feelings that you can get if you look into that. It's really interesting how people who care about feelings so much operate, and you can learn about society that way a lot as well. What people care about, because people don't care about drama. They say, "Oh, we hate drama," and this is a big deal actually, because it helps me realize that people aren't ready for drama to begin with. They sort of know that, especially if they're not adults. They don't want drama necessarily, but over time, they sort of get into the game of drama necessarily. There is no escape. For me either. I'm just lucky to not be popular enough to actually automatically cause drama just for the sake of it, just because people care to look into this. And it's kind of weird, right? Like I'm getting blocked by a bunch of people for various reasons, but all of these reasons are just hilarious, obviously. The only thing that they have against me is that, yeah, most people aren't ready to have drama to begin with, and I shouldn't actually go too far with that. I think, yeah, I think what my friend did, if that was the intention of like protecting a person from me to cause drama to them, like that's pretty smart actually, because she, the person that I contact, she was another fucking secret keeper, hidden water I call them. But I call them secret keepers because they care about feelings, but they sort of don't participate in social media necessarily. I have found two of those people now. Literally, they reveal themselves by saying, "You don't know me." Literally. I asked the first secret keeper, "Well, I know like quite a lot about you, right?" Like, "No, you don't know even 1% of who I am." Like, that is not fucking true. Okay. You see the first decisions that they make, it's going to make up like 40% of their personality. But you must be able to comprehend that 40%. Mostly you're just going to be able to comprehend like 10%. But there's these little things that they do, that people do, that opens an entire gateway to actually understand who they are. So this is funny because it's so hypocritical. You don't know me. Well, hypocritical. It's more like ironic, right? Because the moment you say that, you can get actually exposed for who you are, as long as the other parts are also aligned with that. Obviously, there is a context where this actually is true, and there is a context where by saying that you become exposed, you become known, very well known for who you are. And so the moment someone says that to me, it's like, that's it. I know everything about you, basically. And this person operates on feelings, this person operates on gathering experience, and mostly gathering it in secret, because it's experience that it's kind of a leftover experience for water people, for like pure water. I call this pure water or hidden water. We can see pure, not yet abused water. So that's pretty cool. Or not. I mean, neither personalities are actually great. So I try to look into the mirror and try to fix myself at the same time, if possible. Everything that I can do. Simply because it's going to help a lot making relationships. Most importantly, one of the things that we cannot do in a society is make relationships, because we live in a diverse world and diversity is just shoved into our throats. We sort of have to look, we're forced to focus into protection, abuse, or investment, or taxation. These are 4 types of relationships in general. This is what I discovered by asking a question like, what's up with water and earth? And I've actually explained that, I believe. The relationship between water and earth is that water is capable of operating on feelings, earth is capable of operating on logic, and they don't really conflict with each other too much. So they're capable of protecting each other from various things, and that's great. That's the type of relationship. This is what I happened to experience when I met the first secret keeper, who was pretty much attacked, or taxed, because she was in an investment relationship. She was investing a lot of her effort, and it wasn't paying off at some point. And I kind of budged in, and immediately was exposed for what it is, and it's great. Always happy that she was sort of capable of explaining herself in there, and that relationship pretty much ended the moment I stepped in, but not exactly, because they just came back to it. It's like, yeah. But I sort of found the potential. I sort of got into plenty of cool drama that I was very much affected by, and I gathered like very little amount of experience throughout my life, but I treat them very significantly, so it's good enough, right? So the other 2 types is use and investment, where you give the resource, or you take a resource and put it to good use, right? Basically, the idea is that the resources get taken by another person, and that person has to use resources better than you would. Basically, a representation, a representative in a way, and it gives you back some credit for the investment that you made. As simple as that, right? And then there is true loving relationship, which is still a mystery. Is that true? Well, it gives all the signs that it is, because again, you find a person with the same nature of yours, and there's going to be very little differences between your life and theirs, and that will allow you to learn a lot more, because they will be open to teach you to begin with, because you have this amazing exchange of just learning. Now, I'm not exactly sure. There has to be a dark side to this as well as for being overprotective is always going to be negative. So there's gonna be dark side to true love, which is kind of interesting. So this is why the question marks, I have to explore this a little bit more. Now, as we move on the first part of Dating is Rigged, I talked about how nobody invites you to play as the biggest argument of why it's rigged. I also care to talk about, like, there are too many women. You shouldn't really be single to begin with, because just, you know, as a man, most importantly as a man, you shouldn't be single. Like, what's going on? There's something wrong, to say the least, right? Women should spend time with you, whatever time you're able to offer to them. And I'm sort of able to offer time. Why not? Like, why not? I want to get the rewards of the game. And so this is one of the other reasons why people flood into social media, because they don't have anything else to do. Mostly women, again. This is what they spend time on instead of dating, right? This is substitute. It's a, you know, dopamine, as they say. But I hate fucking talking about science and chemicals and stupid shit. The only thing that science did that's helpful is expose people who are hooked by unproven ideas. So if you believe in round earth or evolution, or that the universe came out of nothing, which it actually kind of did. I do believe it, universe and all life comes pretty much out of nothing, but it also has to be created. Like, life is intention. It comes from intention. You snap your fingers and you appear. But our reality, if you really think about it, is so complicated. It's so well crafted that it had to be millions of years to actually create itself, to manifest the way that it is. And to say that it's evolution, but at the same time, no, just science is just a bunch of noise. Again, it just exposes people who don't have the attitude of, I'll care and believe it becomes a part of my life. That is the people that care about things that are not a part of their life. They're not important. And they don't realize that. It's just so stupid. Why do you care about these things? Science have given a lot of great things, but you kind of overinvest and you become a slave to that type of thinking. And I'm actually glad that not too many people actually do this, and they are interested in just doing bullshit on social media. Like, that's a lot better than just being a science nerd. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, we move on. There's another thing about authority. And I say I wanted to actually make a guide how to survive authority, and that's probably some future episode, because we live under authority. We should look at it as just, again, an experience that it has given a lot of great things, but the population has exploded, so the authority has the ability to do undemocratic things by saying, well, we have created a bunch of migrants, we don't really speak their language or something, or we have too many people, we can't really create elections of any sort of small idea, small tweak that we want to make. We can't really ask all the people, so we just kind of do it. Like, this is fucking stupid. What government is doing. They sort of claim power because people don't want to complain. And government doesn't really care to listen, but this is all just an experience, because we can't really establish this as a system. We sort of have this as a subsystem of socialism. Socialism subsystem. that we just kind of live through, and as I say, it's just an experience. Just a way to look into life from a different perspective. A life without God. That's interesting, right? The Christianity was basically dissolved by authority at the same time. So, the sex part of relationships, and also the always not being single, always bonding. But it requires drama to actually bond with people. Like, it requires exposing personalities. This is what my work is about, necessarily. And also my personality is about creating this black market of prostitution in a way. Now, why is it not legal? Why is it being suppressed? It's the most dangerous thing to do because it literally destroys relationships. If you cannot figure out how, just think about the idea of how do you even get into something? You get something for free, right? Otherwise, it's not supposed to be free. Now, yes, you can actually put enough effort and try and pick up girls and all this crap, but have I gotten anything for free? Honestly, have anyone hooked me up with something that would invite me to play the game? Because naturally, like, even if I'm not attractive or like well-mannered or whatever the bad traits that I have, and I have like hundreds and hundreds simply because I'm not interested in dating, but that's exactly it. I'm not interested, thus I am not trying hard. I don't see the opportunities. I just kind of give up on dating it as a whole. Right? And a lot of people are giving up on that shit. It's scary. It's really scary. Some people give up in a very secret way. Oh, I'm just gonna become gay. Yeah. Nice. Well done. I was just gonna mutilate myself and call myself transgender. Well fucking done. Wonderful job. Because they're stupid because they operate on feelings most of the time, right? Or something else. Something else that's not logical, that's not down to earth type of thinking. So, but to me, I just kind of give up. It's just stupid because I wasn't invited. Nobody actually cared. Because if you have a good game, you will invite people to play because now you have the authority. By having the authority, you can invite a bunch of noobs in, and you will get the credit for it. Noobs are going to work for you because you're gonna, in exchange, you're gonna teach them how to play the game. Like, you can make exchanges. They're fairly useful. So the games mostly promote that sort of behaviors. Like, if you invite a lot of people, well, we're gonna reward you as well. So that's a thing. That's a big deal. And nobody invites you to play the game. Like, that's stupid. Obviously, there's gonna be pickup artists on the internet. They're gonna invite you to play, but the way that they're gonna do it is just stupid, right? They're not gonna do it like directly to you. This is just more of a, oh, let me teach you, let me encourage you to come. It's just, it's not an authority point of view, and nobody really is capable of holding authority through internet at the moment. It's just complicated to explain. But it's not happening, right? Nobody is inviting you, and it's not going to happen for a long, long time. So the last thing I'm going to touch is like after prostitution that I've touched. As I've said, there should be a few things that are free simply to get you hooked and invite you again. And these are not also happening. Like saying that you're single, but saying that you have always been single, that should be a key moment for people to be like, oh shit, this guy probably doesn't even know how cool this is. Right? We gotta teach him up. We gotta patch him up. Because again, the person, if the game is great, the person is going to change and invest a lot of effort into it and gonna help the game itself. And maybe it's the same kind of a scam in a way, but it's a true scam. A person establishes authority, invites a bunch of people under himself. The people under him give credit, then they create their own authority. But the person who invited, who has the highest authority, he gets elevated even further depending on how excited the people below him are. It's just the credit flows to the person who has mastered the power of inviting people. And that's not happening, right? So just to end this video, this X, what is that? What is that, man? It's supposed to be like, there's the idea, oh, there's no sex until marriage. Like, that is fucking stupid. How retarded is that? Like, how misdefined sex can actually be if you just wait until marriage. Like, what the fuck? Absolutely, it is dangerous. And as in a society, you don't want to actually engage in sex until marriage, until you figure out or make a contract with the person that they are good and they're not going to backstab you, because this is the most dangerous thing you can have, honestly. So, but I say it's supposed to be friendly. If you're a good friend with someone and you're not having that reward, especially, again, this is why people say, like, can women and men be friends? But because it involves that necessarily, it necessarily involves that if you're good friends with that person, it necessarily involves sexuality. Because what good friends do, they just want to pleasure each other, right? They want to make sure that both of them are happy, and this is like the super easy way to do it. Super easy way to bond and pleasure. Like, what the fuck? That's what it is. Am I missing something here? And so, but you don't have to be necessarily a partner. Just sleeping around is totally fine. And you shouldn't be called a whore or a player. Like, whatever, right? Whether it's encouragement or not. You shouldn't be called that simply because once we define it, it's pretty obvious. And I was really bothered by that. Like, this is mysterious. And I sort of even like almost accepted, like, yeah, until marriage, because you have to figure out what the person is. But still, now I have a grudge on this shit. Now, whatever people are doing right now, it's annoying. Whoever is playing the game right now, because I don't want just leave me alone, right? But gotta make some kind of conclusion here. Like, again, I don't play the game that's rigged, obviously, and I have to expose it for what it is. And it's a very simple reason why. Not being invited and not being life coached into something, it quickly proves that there is no good way of dating to begin with. There is no way to approach girls, because everyone is asking, how do I approach it? How do I do that? But how? It's not intuitive, it's not fun, it's not nothing. It's just nobody knows how to do it. And people who think they know, they're specialists, which I fucking hate. Everyone's capable of being a specialist. Who cares? Because they don't know nothing about life to begin with. They're just good at brainwashing you to think that they know something, and they don't. They can invite you to something that's not exactly the whole thing, but then you're still creating a community. Right? You're still aiming a person into a certain direction, into your direction, because you're a specialist, so you want to make other people specialists at something. Like, again, it's such a weird relationship there. And most of the time, people's hopes are up, so you can sort of benefit from that. If you keep someone's hopes up, then You're capable of inviting people in a rigged game into a scam. That's it. That's what all this authority is about. It's about experience, and most experience is going to be a scam. I'll tell you that much. It's going to be just experience, just that, right? It's not going to be a real thing. This isn't annoying, but this is why I'm ranting. So now leave me alone. Because this is also sad at the same time. But hey, guys, I'm gonna open up a black market. Hopefully, I'm gonna find one. Prostitution is not supposed to be illegal. Jeez.